So good morning. So in the previous classes, we have discussed about and we have practiced the programs on as well as we have practiced the basic programs, as well as we have seen the looping concepts, as well as we have seen the break and continue statements, and then we have seen the executed the programs on classes, methods, and objects. So we have seen the how to create an object, how to create a class, how to create a method, and we have seen so many variations in creation of methods, classes. So we have seen the overloading, method overloading also, and then we have seen the parameter passing mechanisms, parameter passing by value, by reference. So we have seen the all these things, and then so in today's class we are going to learn the arrays as well as inheritance. So this is the third unit. So up to second unit we have practiced the programs. So in today's class we are going to learn the third unit, that is arrays inheritance. So first concept, arrays. So you know the definition and theory about the arrays. So let us practice the programs. So let us open Notepad++. So let us see how to create a classes and how to access the classes and how to initialize the classes, how to give the assign the values to the class, values to the array. So let us see. So first we have to create a class. So the class name is A1. I am creating the class A1. So in this, I am going to create a, so let us say, so this is the main class. So first letter should be capital A1. So in this, I am going to write the public static void main. So this is the main method. String, passing the array of arguments args. So this is the main method. So in this, we can create an array. So what is the syntax for creating an array? So for example, int int numbers. So int numbers. So we have to give the index. So this is the array declaration. So this is the array declaration. So you have to give the square braces at the end of the array name or before the array name. So we can give the indices either before the array name and after the array name. Either way, we can give the indexes. So here data type is int. So array name is numbers. So array name is numbers. So this is the declaration of an array. So this is the declaration of an array. So so there is another way of declaration. That is same. This can be initialized like this. So int numbers. So this is another way. Or there are another method. Another method to declare a array. Int numbers is equal to new int array size colon. So this is the third way of declaration of an array. So an array can be declared either of these three ways. So this is the most efficient one. This is the most efficient way of declaration of an array. So why? Because we are using the new operator. We are using the new operator. So to create an object, we are using the new operator. So like that, if you want to create an array, we will use the new operator. That means whenever we use the new operator, it means that the memory is allocated for this array. That means if you create an object, means the memory is allocated for this object. So here the memory is allocated for the array numbers. So that's why we are using the new operator. So this is the correct way of declaring an array. So this is a declaration of an array. So then we are going to initialize an array. So up to this declaration, that means variable declaration, int a. Then we have to assign the value to the variable. Int a is equal to 10. That means assignment. So the value to be assigned to the variable. So there are two parts in variable declaration or array declaration. So there is no difference between the variable and array. That variable means the variable stores the single value. Array means array stores the multiple values, more than one value. Array holds the more than one element. So variable holds the only single element. So that is the main difference between array and variable. So same syntaxes and same thing can be applied to the array also. So this is the array declaration. Then we have to initialize the array. That means we have to give the values to the array. So this can be done in so many ways. So let us see. So the first way is already we have declared numbers is equal to within the flower braces 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the array initialization. So this is the array initialization. So we have declared an array and then we are assigning the values to the array. So this is another way of declaration as well as initialization. Then another way is at the time of declaration itself, we can assign the values. That is equal to, we can give the values as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let us take the three arrays in three different syntaxes. So this is take numbers one array. This is numbers one array. So this is numbers two array. So I am giving the values 11, 22, 33, 44, 55. So this is the second array. So I am going to create the third array. So this third array syntax is this one. So this can be done dynamically also. Here we will give the values 111, 222, 333, 444, 555. So this is the array initialization. So I have declared the three arrays. Numbers 1, numbers 2, numbers 3, three arrays. So three arrays are declared with three different syntaxes. So three arrays are declared with three different syntaxes. So this is the basic syntax of an array. Array initialization or array declaration and initialization. So there is another way also to suppose take another. So let us take another array numbers. So int numbers 4. So I have declared an array numbers 4. So I have to initialize the variables at the runtime. So these are given the assign the values at the program level itself. So if you want to give the values at the runtime, that means through the keyboard, if you want to give means we can use the for loop. We can use the for loop for int I is equal to 0, I less than array length. So here array length is 5. So we have a function length. We have a function. We have a method functions numbers 4 dot length. The loop has to repeat up to end of the array. Then I value should be incremented. Then So this is a for loop. Here I am going to give the value system.out.println numbers 4 of I. Numbers 4 of I. So I am closing the for loop. I am assigning the values for the array numbers 4. So this is the syntax for assigning the values dynamically. So these are assigned at the compile time. That means program level itself. So if you want to assign the values at the runtime means we can use the for loops. I have closed the for loop. I am closing the method and I am closing the class. So here I have declared the 4 arrays. I have declared the four arrays. So if you want to print these arrays means how can you print? I have declared the array. I have initialized the array. I have to print the array. So how can you print? So by using the for loop, you can print the values. So let us check this one first. Let us save this program. A1, capital A1, Java, save. So command prompt, desktop, Java C, A1.java. So there are errors. Let us check this. Illegal start of the expression. Numbers 1 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Line 7, line 11. So since it is an array, let us give this index. Save the program. Compile it. Not a statement. Numbers 1. So line 11. So let us check the program again. Numbers 1 is equal to so semicolon. Okay. So this array is not reading. Let us check NUM spelling numbers 1. Spare. So let us give the size here. So let us check the program without that statement. Save the program. So I think this is this method is in the package util. So let us import that package. So how do you import? Import java dot util dot hashtag. That means all the predefined methods classes will be imported to this program. So let us save this. Let us check the syntax. Assign this to a variable. Leng. So this type of declaration gives the error. So let us make this with the new. So let us check this. So error dimension missing. So into space. I think I have to give the size. So let us give the size also. So the program is compiled. So let us print the second array. So second array is printed. Let us print the third array, numbers 3. So third array is printed. So here we are not assigning the uh, array values. Just we are printing the array. So we have to assign the array values. So how can you assign the array values? This is one method. Numbers 4 of index value 0 is equal to 23. Numbers 4 of 1 second value is 34. Numbers 4 of 2 is equal to 65. So like that we can send the values to the array and then we can print. So let us check this. So the values are printed. So the values are printed here. So this is the one way of assigning the values to the array. So there are so many ways. So the best method is this one. So the best method is this one. So this is the best way to create an array and initialize an array. So this is the simple one. And we can print by using the single for loop as well as one println statement. We can print the array. So this is how you can create an array. So this is the for compilation some errors will come. Without new, some compilation errors will come. So that can be avoided by using this syntax. By using this new operator, we can access the array. So we have to give the size of an array also. And then we have created this third array, numbers 4. And then we are trying to give the, we are trying to assign the values at the program level itself. So that can be done through this one. So if you want to assign the values at the runtime means we have to use the scanner function. We have to use this scanner class. We have to use this scanner class. By using that scanner class, you can give the values to the array at the runtime. So this is how you can use the arrays. So for arrays, we can use the, instead of this, we can use the for each loop. So let us see this. So instead of this one, we can use the for each loop. So let us check this. Always we can use the for each loop instead of for loop while displaying an arrays. For each loop syntax is for int, take the collection as x, colon, array name is numbers 4. Array name is numbers 4. So I have to print the yes. I have to print the x. So this is the syntax for each loop. So both these statements are similar. But this is the for each loop syntax is very simple. So we have to create a variable and then we have to assign the variable to that array. We have to print the x. That means created value. So let us check this one by using for each loop also. So the value is printed. The first value is missing. A of numbers of 0, 34, 65. First value is missing. So definitely we have to give the size. So let us check by giving the array size to array index bound problem. So let us give the array size 4. So the first value is coming as 0. So this is why we have to practice the programs. If you have hands-on experience only, we can avoid this type of errors. So simply learning theory is not enough to learn Java. So like this, we have so many types of errors. So the first value is coming as 0. Let us check why. So anyone has idea? So we can use the for each loop here. The main purpose of for each loop is for to display the arrays. So we are displaying the arrays. So let us initialize this in outside the loop. Let us see what happens. So let us check the loop. So now we are getting the values. So now we are getting the values output. So if you assign the values in the for each loop, we are getting the first value as 0. So to avoid this, we can initialize the values outside the for each loop. So here also we can give the values 11, 22, 33. You can assign like this and then check the output. Let us remove this size. So we are getting the output. So check the difference here. So if you initialize at the declaration level itself, we don't give the size here. Here the compiler gives the one problem here. So at the time of initialization, so declaration and initialization, whenever you give at the same line. So we are writing the, we are creating an array as well as we are initializing an array. So both things happens at the same line. So then we don't give the size here. So if you are assigning the values at the somewhere else, so not here, some here. So if you are going to give the values here, numbers 4 is equal to values 2, 3, 4, like that. If you are going to give the values here, means compulsory we have to give the size here. So there is a slight difference in creation of arrays, declaration as well as initialization of arrays. So we have so many variations. So let us follow a simple one. So we have all these variations. Let us follow a simple one. So the simple one is, so remove all these things. Simply int numbers array is equal to, so here you can assign the values 22, 33, 44. So this is the simple method. So simply we can declare an array and then initialize array. No new operator, nothing. So let us check this output. Let us display this. So we can write the some system.out.println array values are let us say so array values are 11, 22, 33, 44. So this is the simply creation of an array, simply printing of an array. So this is the follow this one, this method. So this is the best method, no ambiguity in this. So if you write this as int numbers is equal to new operator, then data type and then initialization, we can get ambiguity. So to avoid this, follow the simple one. So this is the simple way. And then to print an array, so this is the simple way for each loop. So if you are going to declare a two-dimensional array means, so give 2 dimensions. So give 2 dimensions. So this is the rows, and then we have to give the columns. Then we have to give the columns. Columns as 44, 55, 66, 77, 88. So this is the second dimension. So both these dimension can be given with another flower braces. So another flower braces. So this is the two-dimensional array. So this is the two-dimensional array. So let us check the syntax here. So this is the dimension one. Within the flower braces, we are giving the row values. So these are the column values within the flower braces. Rows and columns are separated by comma. Rows and columns are separated by comma. And then for whole these things, we can give the one flower brace. So this is the assignment of two-dimensional array. So for this, we can modify the program to print that array. We need two for loops. We need two for loops. Two for each loops. For let us take it as y and array. So the collection name is that means array name. We have to give the array name numbers. So this is the outer for loop. For inner for loop, we have to create the another variable x, and then we have to give the assign that array value y, and then we have to print the x, and then we have to print the x. So this is simply nested for loops. So for two dimensions, we will use the two for each loops. So let us check the output. So no errors. So this is the output: 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, 77, 88. So this is the two dimensions. So we can format this as arrays by using the formatted output. That means formatted output means print system.out.printf. By using this printf, we can format this one system.out.println print, and we have printf. So by using these percentages, we can format this one. So this is the one way of declaration of two-dimensional arrays. So two dimensions means we need two for loops. So we need two for loops means we need rows and columns. We can treat it as rows and columns. So this is the two-dimensional array. So if you want three dimensions means we can add another dimension here. Another dimension is here. Here we can have another one. Suppose 99, 109, 209, 309. So this is the another dimension. For the whole thing, we give the another brace. So this is the three-dimensional array. So for three dimensions means we need three for each loops. So we can have another for each loop for int z of numbers. So we have to give here z. And then, so this is the three-dimensional array. So let us check the output. So for three-dimensional arrays, incompatible type. So I think I have to give 2 dimensions and then here 1 dimension. Let us check this. So for each loop is okay. Let us check the initialization part. So 3 dimensions means the initialization is not like this. So we have to give the values as a pairs 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 1 dimension. So this is 1 dimension, and then we have to create the another dimension. So another dimension is 3, 5, 6. So this is 1 dimension. 7, 8. So this is 2 dimension. So we have to give the flower braces. So this is the second dimension, and then third dimension means 9, 9, 9, 8, and it's 4, 5. So we have to give the for whole thing. We have to give this. So this is the. So this is first dimension, second dimension, third dimension. So third 3-dimensional arrays means it's an array of 2 dimensions. So it's an array of 2 dimensions. 2 dimension means it's an array of 1 dimension. So this is 1 dimension, second dimension, third dimension. So let us check this. So let us check the braces here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whole thing 1. 7, 8. Whole thing 1. 4, 5. So this is the basic syntax for 3 dimensions. So let us check this output tomorrow. So in today's class, we have seen the declaration of an array and the displaying of that array. So we have seen it single dimensions, 2 dimensions, as well as 3 dimensions. So the remaining programs we can see in the next class. So do you have any doubts? So you also practice the programs in your laptops. So do you have any doubts? Okay, thank you.